Hello. Today I'm going to be making red beans and rice. This is one of my favorite recipes, and I have the ingredients and the recipe listed here. And I'm just gonna get started. I've laid out all my ingredients in front of me. I haven't prepared them all, so I'm gonna start with the andouille sausage. But before that, I want to say I did soak my beans in water. When soaking the beans, I'll generally do it overnight. So I put these in mid-afternoon yesterday, and now it's 10:30 a.m. So they've been soaking for probably 20 hours or so. Right before we went to bed, we added a little bit more water because they do soak up some water. But these have been soaking overnight, 20 hours about. So there's those beans. Now I'm going to start with the andouille sausage. Now the recipe I am following calls for 1 pound. However, I'm going to use 1.5 pounds, mainly because I buy them in 12-ounce packages. So in order to get 1 pound, I would have 2 leftover sausages, and I'm not going to do much with those, so I figured we might as well just make it a little extra sausagey. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start off with getting them out of the package, and then showing you how to dice, how I dice them. Some people like bigger chunks. I like my meals to be homogeneous. I like everything to blend together pretty well. I don't like big chunks in my food, so I'm going to dice them up kind of small. Some people would cut them into discs, so I'm just going to cut it longwise once. I'm going to cut it longwise again, so I cut it into quarters. Here. Now I'm just going to line all of these up and dice them like this. And I'm going to do this for all 8 of the sausages. All right, that's it for the sausage. So you see, I like it diced up, pretty small. Some people leave them in discs. They don't do the quartering, so you'll have like, quarter-shaped sausage. It doesn't really matter, just on your personal preference. So now I'm going to move on to preparing the onions. Now I'm going to go ahead and dice my onions. I also just wanted to preface that I am not a professional chef in the slightest. I do some of the cooking at home, maybe most of the cooking at home, but I am by no means a professional chef. I did, however, watch a Gordon Ramsay how to cut an onion video like 6 years ago. So yeah, watch out. I might know how to cut an onion, but like I said, it was 6 years ago, and I don't remember. It was something like this. Yeah, I'm gonna dice this onion up. Again, I like stuff fine, but we'll see how fine I can get it. Being the amateur that I am. Oh man, that's not super loud. But yeah, I'm doing my darndest. I was thinking about doing a cool thing, a video editing thing, where people take the onion and they just smash it and then it becomes diced onion. Then I was like, I don't actually know how to video edit, and that sounds like it would be quite the big learning curve for someone who doesn't know how to do it. So it's not happening. Instead, I'm just going to dice the onion. Like a pleb, you know? Like an absolute pleb. I also... Yeah, I'm very much not a professional. I'm definitely holding my knives all wrong. And I'm getting a blister on my finger here because I'm probably pushing it like this, and I'm supposed to be like this or something. I don't know. But yeah, I've got a big old blister on my finger now. And I've still got an onion, celery, and a bell pepper to dice. So this is just me telling you, don't dice how I dice. Don't cut how I cut, you know? Because again, hashtag not a professional. Just a guy trying his best. Well, his best might even be a stretch. Trying to test out the waters in content creation. So, also I have a friend who used this recipe once, and it was interesting the way that he made it. So I decided, you know what? I have a YouTube channel. I have a camera. I could maybe show him how, you know, hashtag not a professional, me cuts his onions, dices his sausage, and also misproportions the bowl because I have another half onion to put in this bowl. And this bowl's already full. You know, just really solidifying the whole hashtag not a professional. Damn, I can't even cut this onion straight. Oh man, I'm starting to cry now. Oh, onion, why do you do this to me? Why you do me like that? Oh, I just poke myself in the hand. Because again, hashtag not a professional. I don't know why I'm trying to cut into the onion. I feel like I could just dice it like this and then cut, but I'm like trying to go like that. And you know what? That might be one of the reasons why I'm doing this really bad. Maybe I gotta re-watch Gordon Ramsay's How to Dice an Onion video. Because I could definitely use the help. I feel like that one didn't get diced well enough, so I'll do that. Just for a little extra, you know, dicage. Because again, I like stuff homogeneous. Now let's see how much of this onion falls out of the bowl onto the table or the countertop. Oof. Yes, that is a full bowl of onions. That is very much making me cry right now. Holy crapola. Just pick all these up because, you know, I don't want to waste any onion. So now I've got my sausage and I've got my onion. And now I got to make a bowl of bell pepper. Oh, I'm crying. Bell pepper and celery. I'm going to just throw these big old onion globs away. Alright. And now I'm going to dice my bell pepper and my celery. I'm going to start with my celery. They go in at the same time, so I'm going to put them in the same bowl. I've never watched any information on how to cut celery or bell pepper. So I'm just going to cut the ribs like this, make them nice and thin. Maybe I'll cut this one 2 times. Oh, shoot. Okay. That looks alright. I'll cut this one like this. That looks not half bad. Sure. These look alright. I've also got this one. I'll go ahead and do that. Again, all the while blistering up my finger because, you know, your boy doesn't know how to hold a knife. Or how to apply the proper amount of pressure with a knife, or really anything with a knife. Just playing fast and loose out here, okay? I'm going to attempt to dice these things. Again, hashtag not a professional. I'm pretty sure I should be doing something like this. Ow! Yeah, okay. That's what I get for trying to be fancy. Guys, don't cut yourself. I think I either just haven't started bleeding yet, or I didn't actually cut myself. I just, like, really compressed my skin there. Ouchie, wow. I hope I didn't cut myself. That would be embarrassing. That would be super embarrassing. The verdict is in, and your boy did cut his finger. But, yeah, it's not bad. Just a little paper cut. And I'm going to do some more dangerous stuff, trying to cut out the center of this thing. Probably cut my hand again because, you know, hashtag not a professional. I also really want to stress on this one. Never looked up, never, how to cut a bell pepper. I've tried a few different things in my day. And yeah, just never really figured out the best way. I think I got a way that works pretty well for me in my life. That's kind of what I'm doing right here. I like hollowed out. I'm going to use these pieces, but they're just going to sit there for now. Kind of got this piece here. And I'm just going to cut it into strips this way. Maybe. Again, as big or small as you want them. So I'm going to try this on for size. And then dice it kind of like, these are a little weird. Oh, the dicing part, the part that hurt my fingy. Yeah. This is kind of like a, make it up as you go, dicing a bell pepper, I feel. Yeah, so this is diced. And I can go in here, make room for my future dicing. But bam. Also, the finger blister I have is really, oh boy, does it hurt. Boy, does my finger blister hurt. Maybe I should learn how to hold the knife properly. Maybe that is something I should do. Good thing I'm wearing this Band-Aid because I just sliced right where my Band-Aid is. Goodness gracious. Yeah, don't learn how to dice before you go to dice food. Don't be like me and blister your fingers and cut your fingers. And also probably take, you know, 3 times as long as it takes to dice a thing because I actually know the art of dicing. I'm like, the way I dice is like, I like feed the thing into my knife where I'm not sure if that's how you're supposed to do it. And then I just throw the stuff on the countertop because I'm a mess. But you know, I'm out here trying. I'm out here doing my best. Now I gotta figure out what to do with these things. These things I usually just do, you know, whatever. So let's try this. Let's try this time. Let's just dice it. Slice it like that. Slice and dice. Oh god. I might also have better knives. Maybe I'm pushing just way too hard. And, hurting my bingy. Last piece of the bell pepper. And that should be the end of my dicing for today at least. I'm just going to do the same thing. Let's just do those. Let's just do this. Let's just do this. If you could see my body, I'm like walking around this thing to get different angles. I'm like, I know I've seen chefs cut things and like they don't have to move their body, but you know, I don't know what I'm doing. So I do have to move that body. Sure. Let's do that. Let's just do some of this. Let's just do some of this, you know. Wow, watching myself on camera, if I do it like this, I kind of look like I know what I'm doing. But I feel like I'm just... Yeah. Let's whip it all together. Get this little piece out of here. Come on, little guy. Stop being... God damn it. Bam. Yeah, hashtag professional. Professional chef. Okay, that's diced. Alright. So, I've diced all of my things. Let's get this out of here. So I think I'm done with my cutting board and my knives for now. I've got my sausage. I've got my onion. And I've got my green bell pepper all diced. So now, let's refer to the guide. I have soaked my beans. I have prepped my materials, my ingredients, and now I need to, in a heavy pot, brown the sausage, bam, in oil, then add the garlic, which I have my garlic cloves here. It calls for 6. I have like 8 because some of them are a little small, and I think there's a brown spot on one I'm going to cut off. So I got 8 because they're a little small. And then I add the garlic and onions, saute for a little bit. Or I add the bell pepper and celery. And then I add my beans, my water, my spices. And I'm going to be using a soup pot, this big boy. So coming up next, adding all the stuff. All right, I'm gonna start the cooking process now. I'm gonna throw my stove on to high just to get it up to temp. I'm gonna add my 1 tablespoon of olive oil, maybe like a little more because I diced. It's like 2. Because I diced my things that I diced. My sausage pretty small, which makes there's more surface area, which I'm not a real chef, but I feel like that's science. More the oils for the surface area, and if I have more surface area, I'm going to need more oil. That's just, my theory. So I'm going to opt for a little more oil. And I'm going to add in my sausage. Come on, sausage. There we go. Perfect. So now the instructions say what? Brown the sausage until they are slightly crisp. This looks like it's maybe crisping. I don't know. I think it's time to add the rest. So let's do that. In order. Add remaining oil. I can do that. 1, 2. You can also tell I'm an amateur because I'm actually measuring out my ingredients. I feel like I watch these, professional chefs and whatnot. And they're just like, oh, I need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 1, 2. It's like perfect. It's like, I am not in that demographic of professional chefs. I have to use, measuring spoons and measuring cups and things. I don't yet have a kitchen scale, but I think that's something we're gonna put. We're getting that soon. So I just added the boom, boom, boom onions. Now I'm gonna dice up or mince in my mincer. Mince up some garlic. Some garlic. Where's my knife? Yeah, and I know I never see professional chefs use garlic mincers either. They always just, do it with a knife or something. I've tried that once or twice, and let me tell you, I couldn't do it. So, I will be using my crutch, thank you. My garlic press crutch. Because that's what it's here for. Me, your amateur, non-professional guy who cuts himself and gets blisters with knives. And I'm going to just throw all this junk in here again and just do one last little mince-a-rooney. Don't want to lose out on any of that precious, precious garlic. Because, garlic is good, yo. I should probably be mixing this up, but gotta get all the garlic. Yes, good. Let's throw this all in here. Perfect. I'm now going to go on to phase 3. I added the sausage. I added the onions. Now, celery and bell pepper. Here is our celery and bell pepper bowl. Bada bing, bada boom. And this says to saute for about 5 minutes. So I can show you here. I ladled out, like 4 cups of bean water in this measuring glass. And then I also ladled out, some more in a bowl. I'm probably going to add most of this back in. I just don't want to have too much water in it and then be like, oh, I can't remove water. Whereas if it's too dry and it gets, too dry, you can just add more water in. So that's the side I would err on. So I think that's about good. I'm going to go ahead and add now my soaked beans. Here they come. Now I'm going to want the water to cover the beans. So again, I definitely ladled out a bit too much. Because you see, I want them to be all covered in the water. Which they're not right now. You can see the beans are not covered by the water. So I'm going to throw in my excess water And they're still not completely covered. So I'll pour in that. That should be good for now. I'm going to turn this to high because I want to bring it to a simmer. I also got to make my spices in. So now I'm going to come over and be a spice girl. Oh, I left a few beans. Bam, get in there, beans. I would be a spicy spice girl. And add all of my things, which is going to be, where are my measurements? Teaspoon. So I'm going to get the half teaspoon. Because most of these are in increments of half teaspoons. I'm just going to go top to bottom. 1.5 teaspoon of black pepper. So this is a half teaspoon. So there's 1, 2, 3 half teaspoons. Now we need a half teaspoon of cayenne. I have the unopened cayenne. I know I have an opened cayenne in the cupboard. Why do we have multiple cayenne peppers? Maybe it's just because cayenne pepper is good. There it is. There's the sweet. Well, not sweet, but the cayenne this recipe craves. There's my half teaspoon of cayenne. All right. 2 teaspoons of salt, which is going to equate to 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's those. That is those 2 teaspoons. 1 tablespoon of Tabasco. Now here's my tablespoon. Here is my Tabasco. Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake the Tabasco. Listen to it. Bam, 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 bam. There it is. There's my tablespoon of Tabasco. Going in. Now again, Tabasco is spicy. It's pretty hot. It's a very unique, spice, sauce, whatever. Now what do I have? 2 teaspoons of dried basil. 2. Are we out of basil? I don't know. I mean, I have the dried basil out, but again, this isn't an opened one. I'm just going to open it. 2 teaspoons of dried basil, which equates to 4 of these hoes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Oh no! Again, if I was a professional chef, I'd just be like, oh, 2 teaspoons, just, X amount of shakes, but that ain't me, homie. 3/4 teaspoon of rubbed sage. Here, I'm just going to guesstimate. So I'm going to grab my half teaspoon again. I'm going to do 1. And then a half of these, because that's math. And now, all of my spices are added, except for the bay leaf. Where does it say to put the bay leaf in? Maybe it's considered an herb. So I'm going to stir this up and then plop in my bay leaves. Stir this puppy up. Make sure my spices are all evenly distributed. Looking pretty good. Now I'm going to drop in 3 bay leaves? Question mark? Yeah, 3 bay leaves. All right. Who's the bright guy who did this to the bay leaf container? Why is there a shaker on the bay leaf container? You don't shake out bay leaves. You can't, because they're freaking leaves. They're these. 1, 2, 3 bay leaves. I'm gonna give it one more little stir. Maybe just poke these in. And now we wait. All right. Because the next part of the recipe, for you fine folks that are still here, bam, is cook until the beans are softened, about 1.5 to 2 hours. So, Alexa, set a timer for 90 minutes. Thanks, Alexa. All right. So I guess I'll catch up with you guys when this thing is done simmering. Done cooking. You have to stir this pretty occasionally, maybe every 10 minutes or so. Just come in here and give it a stir. My recipe does not say to cover it up, so I'm not. Also, that's it. I'll see you guys in about 90 minutes. All right, this has been cooking for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I did add about another cup of water, which might have been a mistake. A cup of the yellow bean water over here, which might have been a mistake because it is looking a little soupy, but it's also hot. It'll thicken up when it cools and stuff, and also when I mash it up. But so it's been going for 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I'm now going to add my parsley, and in hindsight, I think I might have wanted to add this when I did all of the spices, because I am using dried parsley, as you can see here, sort of. Whereas you can use fresh parsley. I feel like maybe I should have, if you use fresh parsley, add it at the end. But if you had dried parsley, you probably should add it in the beginning, because, well, it's dry and it needs to, moisten up. But so I added my one tablespoon. Yeah, 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. I just added. I'll mix that in. I'm gonna let this simmer for 15 more minutes, which will bring me to the 90-minute mark. And once I hit the 90-minute mark, it's mashing time. I'm gonna mash up these beans to give it that creamy texture that I crave. So I'll just give it another stir. Also, when I hit that 90-minute mark, I'm probably going to pull out my bay leaves before I mash, because I don't want to risk, breaking up the bay leaves and then having all these bay leaf shards. I think 90 minutes with the bay leaf in is good enough, because all I'm going to do is mash up the beans and then let it simmer for another 15 minutes. So I'll get the bay leaves out before I annihilate the beans. So 15 more minutes on the simmer, mash the beans, and then that should be good to go. I just threw my rice on about 15-20 minutes ago, just rice cooker, just long grain rice, rinse it a few times. At least someone told me to do that, or some YouTube chef said to rinse your rice. So I rinsed my rice a bunch. And then it'll be good to go. So simmer, pull out the leaves, mash, simmer, GG. So I'll see you in about 15 minutes. All right, my 90 minutes is up. My timer just went off, so now I'm going to pull out these bay leaves so I can get mashing. bay leaf number 1. So I have 3 of them in here, I believe. I hope I can find all of them without any issue. Bay leaf number 2. And, well, I might just be leaving bay leaf number 3 in there. And if I see them while I'm mashing, I'll pull them out. Because again, I don't think it'll be an issue. Because they've been boiling or not boiling, but simmering for 90 minutes. So they should be pretty limp anyways. It's not like they're gonna break if I hit them with a masher. So I got 2 of them out. That's 2/3. I'll definitely take the other one out before I go to serve it and store it, because we usually end up freezing. Oh, there it is. Just as I was giving up faith in myself. All right. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So that is the bay leaves removed. Oh, this is over here. Bay leaves removed. Now it's time for your boy, the potato masher. And I'm just going to get in there and mash the heck out of it. I think it's actually looking okay. I was worried about all the water that I added, but it might actually be all right. So throw a timer on for 15 minutes, and then let's see how it looks after that. 15-minute timer just went off after mashing the beans, which means the beans are done. You can see here I've got my rice. I cooked a bunch of rice just so I don't have to cook it, in the future when I make it, because I don't mind having leftover rice with this. I put some rice in a bowl, and now I'm just gonna grab myself a ladle for serving. And yeah, so like I said, this stuff is pretty spicy, pretty just potent flavor. So this is probably all I'd throw on there, just like 1 ladle with that amount of rice. And then that's it. That's a wrap. I'm out of big spoons, so I'm going to take this little baby spoon. Just mix her up, because she's nice and creamy. That's how I like eating it, because I'm, again, the whole homogeneous thing. Because this stuff is quite spicy. And it's probably going to be a little hot, but I probably ought to taste it, There's still a few full beans in here. I didn't mash them all up, despite me really trying to mash them all up. And let's see how we did. Oh yeah. That is red beans and rice. Yes, it is. Yeah, nice and creamy. Creamy-ish. Creamy adjacent. So I think it's going to do it, folks. Yeah, can't wait to eat this for the next week and freeze it and then eat it again in a month or so. So thanks for watching.